Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here at Stay Cinematic. I was going to make a video on this, then I saw this article and I just thought, I want to put my point across as a small YouTube channel, and I mean small, I mean small. 67 subs, growing really great, loving what I'm doing. But I watched a video the Star Wars Theory did on this, and I've seen other videos that other people have done on this. And this is just the article that Screen Rant has now posted about this, and it's 3 weeks later, the Acolyte's cancellation triggers a surprising civil war in the Star Wars fandom. So, if you want more clarification on the whole situation, go watch Star Wars Theories video on it. That's how I learned about it to begin with. But yeah, the Acolyte may have been cancelled, but the Star Wars fandom is still divided over the show, and now the controversy has erupted into a full-on scale media civil war, helmed by showrunner Leslie Headland. The Acolyte swiftly proved to be one of the most controversial TV shows in the franchise's history. A review bombing campaign against The Acolyte led to Rotten Tomatoes' audience score about the time of writing. So the guy writing this article, who I will give Thomas Bacon, it says by the time of writing, just 18%, surprisingly, the Rotten Tomatoes audience score is. Though the show remains controversial even now, 3 weeks after its cancellation. On September 4th, the Rewriting Ripley pod released a viral video pointing to some Star Wars YouTube accounts that they argue to jeopardize the safety of our community and the creatives we love for too long. It says, hello team YouTube. The Star Wars community would at the very least appreciate a formal response or update in regards to our well-documented and pressing concerns about YouTubers pushing prolonged harassment on your platform. A handful of YouTubers have jeopardized the safety of our community and the creatives we love for too long. Star Wars fandom demands action. At Team YouTube, demonetize Nerdrotic, Ryan Clinnell, RK Outpost, and Geeks Plus Gamers. Hate should not be a career path. It's not a career path. It's not. It's just everyone hated the show because the show was bad. You can see that by looking at all different sorts of things. How many minutes it was watched, how many people watched it, how many people hated it. When they did the whole hashtag Save the Acolyte, how many people of the Star Wars fandom went out of their way and did the hashtag Save the Acolyte? It was a movement. And I applaud, and I do applaud people who love. I do love a good comeback story for shows. It's happened to a show that I watch called Manifest, and I look at it and I think I do love it when fans of the show. This is not me going, oh well. This is me going, fans of the show. I love it when they come together and they go, right, okay, we want to do this. And to me, that works. Fans of the show need to be heard. I agree. But at the same time, fans of the show were heard. It was cancelled. No one liked it. But, people who do petition for it, all to you. How did that go for you? I mean, it was a little tweet, hashtag Save the Acolyte, whatever they tweeted afterwards. I covered it, but it didn't do much, did it? I mean, 3 weeks on from cancellation. Disney haven't budged. So, yeah. Anyway, it goes on to say, the Star Wars Explain team, popular YouTubers and podcasters within the fandom, responded to this by leading a campaign petitioning YouTube to demonetize some of these accounts. Molly Damon, one of the Star Wars Explain co-hosts, shared the following infograph from another source. The infograph is a tweet. I've just looked at the tweet, funnily enough, and you can't actually make out the tweet, even though she sent it, but even though she shared it. Oh well. I've spoken at length about all this in the past, but only way things get better is if that Team YouTube does something to discourage this kind of content. Until then, it will only get worse. Team YouTube actually responded. So this was put up on September 4th. at 4:13 p.m. and Team YouTube responded. Oh no, it could have been 4:30. It was 4:15 p.m. and Team YouTube got back to them literally within about 5 minutes. And this is what they said. At Molly Damon, we really appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Mind reporting the channel/video and official reporting tool if you haven't yet. This page has more info on how to do that. I mean, do you know what? I'm a big believer in freedom of speech. If you don't like something, just say it. I don't like hate. I don't like hate. You can hate a show. That's fine. That hate to me is fine. But what you can't do is hate the actors, hate the writers, hate. You can't spread a message of hate. But you can go, I categorically hated that film or hated that show. Because it's a product. It's a product. So anyway, YouTube swiftly responded with confirmation none of the videos involved have breached their terms of services. Interesting thing to point out, YouTube swiftly responded with confirmation none of the videos involved breached their terms of service and that they would not be removed. It didn't exactly satisfy the campaigners who've been calling for demonetization rather than removal of the content. Naturally, the YouTubers whose accounts have been saved celebrated their apparent vindication, with the exception of Star Wars Theory. Although this popular and highly critical YouTuber hadn't been called out by Rewriting Ripley Pod, he was name dropped in the pages shared by Star Wars Explained. He responded with a video and a tweet, and this was his tweet: trying to deplatform anyone over not liking a form of media is the most vile, disgusting act there is. To coordinate an attack like this, taking the innocent and creative life's work of someone and twist it to slander them to YouTube, calling them demonetization so that they... I'll get the full tweet up. There it is. There we go. Trying to platform anyone over not liking any form of media is the most vile, disgusting thing there is. To coordinate an attack like this is taking the innocent and creative life's work of saying someone and twist it to slander them to YouTube, calling them demonetization, so that they cannot pay for their life, their family's life, they care for, their team's life, their team's family, through a coordinated movement in bad faith is unbelievably evil. I fell silent for years. Today I speak, and if you come back with more, I have reserves that will devastate all of you. I'm going to point this out now. Huge fan of Star Wars Theory. Love his content. This whole thing is crazy, right? And the reason why I wanted to do a video on it is because my interpretation of it is I hated the show. A lot of my viewers hated the show. A lot of people I know hated the show. There's people out there that I speak to online who go, I actually really enjoyed it. And I go, that's fine. I didn't like it. I hated it because it wasn't well done. There was nothing in the people behind it, besides from scripts that maybe story-wise it wasn't all there. It was predictable. At least the episode I watched, I was very much like, oh, first episode they're building up to who killed this Jedi, and I'm like, so well, it was her twin sister, and they're like, oh, it was the twin, and I'm like, yeah, but I guess that like 10 minutes in, and then you look at what they did with Plagueis. I've seen the Plagueis scene. It makes him look a creepy old geezer, and it's just like, no. Darth Plagueis the Wise, the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise was that. And the fact that people were like, we want a season 2, fine. They're not going to get one, but fine. Star Wars fandom is now dividing along almost tribal lines. Star Wars Explained versus Star Wars Theory. Supporters of Star Wars Explained argue the accounts such as Nerdrotic and Star Wars Theory are a negative force in the fandom, selling anger and negativity because they know it will generate views and revenue. They further point out that Star Wars Theory's counter video includes personal messages from the Star Wars Explained team, discussions on mental health, making this a very personal attack. I've seen the video. Watched it last night. The issue with it is jealousy. Star Wars Theory blew up. He started his channel because he loved Star Wars. He never wanted to make money. You know, if you actually know his story, like what he wanted to do was he just wanted to talk about Star Wars. A bit like how I want to talk about movies and all films, right? I do it in a bit of a different way to him because I like reading articles. I like getting in all the news information. But he did it in a way where it's like really fun, theorizing on things that could have happened. And I remember like his first video was on who is Snoke. Is Snoke Palpatine and stuff like that. I mean, he got that one right. And I remember seeing all this, and it was about 2016 when it saw it literally as his channel launched, because he literally boom, 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 video. If you watch his most recent video, the one talking about the whole controversy of what this video is about, if you watch his video, he explains what he did, where he went, I'm not going to tell you my secrets on how I got big. I'll happily help you out. But the issue with YouTubers, and I've found this in the past with creators that I've known. You ever think, well, you've only just started. I've been on YouTube for 15 years. Not any success. This is by far the best channel I've got. By far. But I ran them as a kid. It was fun. It was something to do. It was a hobby. I had people messaging me. How did you get 10 subs? How did you... I had a video on Black... I was a Call of Duty YouTuber at one point. Right? And sort of why I'm just created a channel called Stay Duty, because I want to go back to Call of Duty. But I saw that and I thought, yeah, that looks kind of cool. And I had people going like, oh, great video, man, want to check out my stuff. So you've literally clicked on my video to comment, hey, great video, blowing smoke up. I'm not going to say it because it's YouTube and you get demonetized now. Not that I am monetized, but you get like a strike or whatever. I don't know. And then you want me to check out your channel? Yeah, sure. I've only done it once here. I've only done it once. And the reason for it was because, and it was in yesterday's video. And that was to do with, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't yesterday. Sorry. I did a video on Star Wars. What the fandom wants. And the comment came from a subscriber or a viewer from the channel. I don't know if he's subscribed. And I did that. And I shouted his channel out. He didn't ask. He said, oh, you can mention me if you like in the comment, like putting me comment up on screen. Which I always do that. And I thought, yeah, okay. And I gave him a shout out because I checked out some of his videos and I actually got enjoyment from them. But people asking, oh, can you give me a shout out? No. If you make content and you add value to me as a creator, where I go, you've made a really interesting point, I am going to do a video on that. I've done 2 videos off of comments. I've done 2 videos now for comments on YouTube. 67 subs, 2 comments I've got. I've made a video on each of them. And they get their little shout out because they're in the comment and everything's all pinned and that way. But no, I actually checked out this guy's channel and I was like, really kind of like, okay, he does toy reviews. Okay, let me see whether I can, if this video does well, which it didn't do as great as I thought, but I thought if it does, maybe they'll go check his channel out. Didn't know. Didn't know what it would do at the time. But anyway, going back to the article. A tale of two channels, they're calling it. One is morally bankrupt grifter cashing in on hate. One is passionate about the franchise they love. Just compare their most recent videos and it tells you all you need to know. I support Alex and Molly 100%. So, this is Star Wars Theory. That was the 37-minute video was the one that I watched. And you know what? I look at his channel. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Do you know, there's nothing wrong with these videos. It's his opinion. And he's been doing Star Wars Outlaws playthroughs, you know. He's a Star Wars YouTuber. He's got to. Keanu Reeves turning down Soul. Can I just point that out quickly? It's funny. Then you got Star Wars Explained, who does like this. Every Criminal Syndicate is covering loads of Star Wars Outlaws stuff, which is great. I like the game. I haven't played much of it, but I do enjoy it. But he's not pulling in the views the theory is. Well, look, most recent video 120k views. Most recent 13,000. I don't get the whole issue on this hate thing, to be honest. Like, they are, in my eyes, two Star Wars YouTubers. One is speaking the minds of most people. He only hates the Acolyte for views. No. No. Hating Star Wars, I will admit, it can get you views. I will admit it. But as someone who has a personal opinion on Star Wars, and I say this to anyone that I meet, 4, 5, and 6, brilliant films. 1, 2, and 3, my generation films, so I love them. Clone Wars, brilliant. Rebels, recently rewatched a video on it, love Rebels. Force Awakens, that was nostalgia bait before nostalgia bait became so big. Solo, Rogue One, great. Then we go on to this episode 8. Solo, 9. Not really hitting the mark there. Finish off the saga. Mandalorian, brilliant. Kenobi, brilliant. Ahsoka, brilliant. I love these shows. Acolyte, we've gone back. And the MCU's at the moment having it, where they're doing a great thing, then a really bad thing, then it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. It needs to just be going up, up, up for Star Wars and the MCU. But yeah. Supporters of Star Wars Theory, meanwhile, argue that the very principle of demonetizing accounts you disagree with is wrong. It is. That's a bit like censoring everyone who has an opinion that doesn't follow yours. It's a bit like me going in this comment section, going, leave me a comment. I'll happily respond. And you comment in something that I don't like, and me going, nope. Not seeing that one. You never comment. Oh, you did. Oh, you've okay. Delete that one. Oh. I like freedom of speech. This is freedom of speech. This is, you are talking about something that you are passionate about. I'm passionate about movies. I'm passionate about clearly fan war at this point. They further point to Star Wars Explained's desire to be a positive voice in the community and insist they are hypocrites for being against other creators. To all more recent arguments claim that Star Wars Explained YouTubers are in fact motivated by jealousy. You know what? I think as I say, it's quite frankly a mess. What makes it particularly interesting, though, is that it's happening in a very specific political context. The topic of social media moderation, some would say censorship, is a live issue in many countries, including the United States and the UK. The current Star Wars controversy is simply mirroring the real world debate. It is. It's this whole censorship on what you can and can't do, can and can't say. Wrong. It's just wrong. It's like the whole prospect of it is wrong. Star Wars Theory didn't like the Acolyte. I didn't like the Acolyte. Why? It was bad. Commenters on my channel, they go, I didn't like the Acolyte. I actually had a comment on the channel that this person put on my channel, and I respect him for the comment. It was basically, I didn't like the Acolyte, but would you? It was, I can't remember properly, but basically they kind of got the wrong point in my video. I did a video on Acolyte Season 2 confirmed. Then the Acolyte was awful. No one's going to renew it. And we ended up having a conversation. No, I don't want this thing renewed. I'm just making a video on something that could be happening. And it's funny because even when you share the same opinion as the other person you're talking to, there's still going to be controversies there. Star Wars Theory, Star Wars Explained. What side am I on? To be honest, I have to go with Star Wars Theory. As a YouTuber, just I don't take sides, but as a fan of Theory's content, who I have followed now for 8 odd years, right? Yeah, about 8 years. I look at it and I think, yeah, he's making videos that are hitting the algorithm and working. That's jealousy number 1. But 2, if you look at Star Wars Explained, right? I'm just going to put this up on screen one more time. This is the last thing I'll do before signing off. He's got here every criminal enterprise, every criminal syndicate in Star Wars, right? 23,000 views. 18k. Biggest questions answered. Revenge of the Sith, the most frequently asked questions answered. It's like, okay, fair enough, but you pulled in 77,000 views. And Revenge of the Sith, love that film. Best film of the prequel trilogy, in my opinion. But The Acolyte is something that is still being spoken about. And I'm not being funny. I'm going to put this out there. It's going to go terribly wrong. I know it is. But I want to hear your thoughts on this. If The Acolyte wasn't created by a woman, would people give a crap? Would people actually give a shit at the fact that it's been cancelled? Like, will we be sat there going, we want Acolytes? Oh, it wouldn't be... If Dave Filoni had done it, right? And it was terrible, but like, oh, that's a bad one. There wouldn't be this controversy. I think you have two sides of the fence. The fence of like, well, they're attacking, that's getting views, let's defend. And do you know why the defenders aren't getting views? And this is not me saying they're not true to their opinion. But people are watching Star Wars Theory because they have the same opinions as him. I'm going to sign off on this video. It's been a 25-minute video. Jeez. I didn't think it'd be that long. I've still got other videos to make. But I look at this and it's a flipping franchise that's been going on for 40 plus years. No, nearly 50 years in 2027, I think. So come on. Let's just call time on this. It's not a surprising civil war. It's been happening for a while, but let's just call time on it, shall we? Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, drop a like on the video. Let me know your thoughts on this. Like, I don't want you guys. I'm team. I don't want to hear the team theory and it's explained. I don't want any of that. But what I do want to hear is your honest opinion on the Acolyte, because it's so controversial. It's now started a civil war in Star Wars, which it has. And at the end of the day, Disney are not listening to YouTubers. Disney don't care what YouTubers think of a show, what they do. Disney cancels shows because no one watches it. And unfortunately, no one watched The Acolyte because it wasn't great. But with that being said, stay cinematic. See you later. Goodbye.